Hi guys, welcome to the next Selenium WebDriver session. I hope this session will help you better understand the read operation for the CSV file. So in this video, we will see an important interview question, and that is a real-time project scenario as well, where we will see how we can read the server URL, username and password from the CSV file depending upon the server name. Okay, so basically I need to create a generic method which will accept server name as a parameter, and then that method should return me the server URL, username and password for that specific server. Okay, so in our real-time project we have multiple servers on which we perform testing, right? So we have to run our automation test cases on dev server, QA server, or integration UAT server is there, pre-UAT or production server, right? So all these servers would have the different URLs, right? Different credentials as well. So UAT server will have some different URL, your production URL is different, your integration, your QA server URL is different, and credentials are also different. So what I want, I will store this data related to the server and its corresponding URL and credentials in a CSV file. Okay, so this data you can store in the Excel as well, or you can read it from the config.properties file as well, or you can read it from the database as well. So there are different ways by which you can store that data and you can read that data. So this is my CSV file where I have stored the server details containing server name, its corresponding URL, username and password. So I have added 4 server here: QA server, UAT, integration and production server, and their corresponding URL and username and password. Okay, so if I send UAT to our generic method, then I should get this corresponding URL, username and password for this specific UAT server. Okay, so let's start designing that method now. So this is the project we are going to use for demonstration purpose. It is just a simple page object model where I have used TestNG, then WebDriver Manager, some of the different dependencies added in this pom.xml. Okay, so we have WebDriver Manager, TestNG, Selenium, and this OpenCSV. Okay, so if you want to perform read and write operation for the CSV, you require to add this dependency. Okay, so for that purpose you just need to go to Google and search OpenCSV in mavenrepository.com. Okay, so just click on the first option. So there we will see different versions of this dependency. Okay, so you can take the latest one and you just have to copy these 4 lines. Okay, so add it in your pom.xml and save it. So we are going to create our utility method, a generic utility method, so that I will add in this qa.utils package. Okay, so first I will create this CSV data reader class, and inside this class I will create that generic method. So let's say my method name is this method should return string values as of now. Public string get URL and let's say credential, and this method should accept the server name. Okay, so depending upon the server name I will get this URL, username and password. So server name will be string type, string, let's say server, and this method should return string value. Okay, so we need to add the return statements. That's why it is giving the error. Return, let's say as of now, blank string. So to perform operation, a read operation from the CSV file, you need to create object for file reader class first. File reader f equal to new file reader. Okay, so you need to add where your file is available in your local machine. Okay, import it from java.io, and here you need to provide where this file is available. Okay, so you just have to provide this location of this file. Okay, so file is available in this location. Okay, D drive aj csv and then mydata.csv. This is my file name, mydata.csv, under this CSV folder. Okay, so it will give you exception, the file not found exception. Okay, so it is a checked exception, so better we will add this code in our try catch block. So if we get any kind of exception, we will print it in the console. Okay, so once you create file reader reference here, then next thing we need to create object for this CSV reader class. Reader equal to new CSV reader, and just pass this f, the file reader reference, to this CSV reader constructor. Okay, so you just have to import it from pom.opencsv. Okay, so that's why you need to add this OpenCSV dependency in the pom.xml. Okay, so as of now we have got our file to read, that is my data.csv, and we need to read the data from this CSV now. So to read data from this CSV, we are going to read data by row wise. So first we will read this row, then we will read second row, then third row, fourth row, until we will get a blank row. So this is how we are going to read this CSV file. So using this object reference reader, we can call method available in this CSV reader class. Okay, so reader dot read next. Okay, so this is the method which will read next line from the buffer and convert to a string array. That means it will return the array of values for the particular row. So it will return array containing all these value, okay, separated by comma. So my array index start with 0, right? So at first index I will get this server, then second index I will get URL, then third I will get username, and at last index of the array I will get the password. So this is how this method will return the values in form of array. So reader dot read next. Okay, so this is going to return me the array, so I will store it in string csv line data equal to. Okay, so this should be my array. Okay, so what I will do, I can declare it at the class level here. So in csv line data array, we will get all the values for the specific rows. Okay, so for example, if I send uat, I will get these 4 values available in this csv line data array. So let me add it for a better understanding. Okay, so for uat server, this is how we will get the data. Okay, so at 0th index of this array we will get uat, then url at the first index, then username at the second index, and at the last index you will get the password. Okay, so this is how this method will return the values from the csv file. Okay, so now we got the values for each row. Okay, so we have to read that csv file until we will get the blank line. Okay, so our server can be anywhere. Okay, we don't know the position. So what we'll do, we will use the while loop here. While this csv line data is not null. Okay, this means we have some data on that particular row. Okay, so if you observe, our server name will be available at the 0th index of this array. Okay, so every server name when we read from the csv will be available at the 0th index. This prod, then integration, uat, qa, all these values are the at the 0th index of this array. Okay, so that is what we want. So what we will do, we will use this if condition here. If okay dot equal ignore case, and if it is equal to the server name that we are passing from the outside. Okay, so if it is equal to this server name, that means that is what our desired server name. So if it matches to our server name, we want all these 3 values: the URL, username, and password. So what we can do, we can store these values in another array, or you can use the array list as well. So let me declare one more array here, string array server details. Okay, so we are going to store our values in this array. So at 0th index, means at first position, I will store the URL. Okay, so I will store whatever value available at the first index in the csv line data array, that is our URL, at the first index of this server details array. Okay, so similarly we need to add the other 2 values as well. Okay, so at first index I will store username, okay, which is available at the second index, and at the second index of the server details array I will store the password. Okay, so that value is available at the third index of this array. Okay, so now we got all the details, so we can break the loop here. Okay, once we get the values, we don't want to this loop to continue. Okay, so we need to break that loop. So I have added this break statement here, so that will come out of this while loop. Okay, but what if it does not matches to our server name? Okay, so first we will get the this value server, right? So server value is not equal to our UAT. For example, we have sent server equal to UAT, so it will not match, so it will come out of this if block. So we need to read the next line from this CSV file. So we need to add this statement again here. Okay, so if does not matches to our server, then read the next line. Okay, again it will go to this while loop. That means it is not null value, that line has some data, so again it is going to get the CSV line data array and all these values. Okay, so for second iteration we will get the data value for this QA server. Okay, so QA is not equal to UAT, then it will read the next line. Okay, so this time we will get the UAT server details. So this condition will be satisfied. UAT equals to our UAT. So we are going to read the UAT server details here. We are storing here and we will break that loop. So once we got the data, we need to close this reader. So before breaking the loop, I will just close this reader. Okay, and we just need to return our this server details array, right? So server details array will contain all the three values. So we just need to return this array. So here I will add return server details array. So we need to change the return type of the method here. So instead of string, we are returning string array. Okay, so here we need to handle one more condition. Suppose we sent a wrong server name which is not available in this CSV file. For example, I sent ABCD, so ABCD is not available in the list. Okay, so we need to tell user that server name is wrong, please send the correct server details, something like that. So user should come to know that server name we have sent is wrong. So that you can do using the counter variable. So what I will do, I will initialize one more integer counter variable here. Counter is equal to 0. Okay, so once we get our desired server details, means once our control go inside this loop, that means we got the data, our server name is correct and we got the data as well. So that time what we will do, we will just increase our counter. Okay, so 0 will be increased to 1, right? And for example, if that CSV file do not have the server that we send, let's say you send ABCD, so ABCD is not available in that CSV file, so it will never come to this loop and this counter will remain 0, right? So that we will handle here. So if counter equal to 0, okay, so if counter remains 0, that means our server name is wrong and our control never go inside this if block. So if this counter remains 0, we will just print one statement in the console. Okay, so that user will come to know that there is some issue with the server name, so that server name is not available in the CSV. So server name is wrong. Okay, something like that. Okay, so our utility is ready to handle this use case. So depending upon our server name, we will get this details corresponding to that specific server. Okay, so this method will return that details in the form of array. Okay, so now let's see how we can call this method and how we can use the data from the CSV in our Selenium test case. Okay, so this method I'm going to call from this test based .java class. Okay, so here I have used this before shoot method. because before we start our test case execution, we need to decide our server details, on which server we want to run our test case, its login ID and password. Okay, so this action we need to do only once, right? So if you have 100 test case, we are not going to decide for 100 times. Only once we need to decide our server details, our URL, user ID and password. Okay, so this action we need to perform only once. That's why, so in that scenario we can use this before should testng annotation, right? And this is the parameterization from the testng XML. So I have written this parameter, server parameter, in our testng XML. Let me show you that I have added in this src test resources. Okay, so this is my testng XML. So at the suite level, I have added this parameter, server parameter. So here I can send different values for this parameter, integration, QA server or UAT. Okay, so I will send UAT, for example, from here. Okay, so that value I will catch in this public void start method. Okay, so that server value I am going to send to this set environment method. Okay, so this is my set environment method where we are going to read the data from the CSV file. Okay, so in this method we are just created our CSV data reader class, where we have created this method get URL and credential method. So if you want to call this method, we need to create object for this class, right? So that is what we have done here. So we have created this object CSV, and using this object reference, we are calling this get URL and credential method, and we are passing this server as an argument, right? So this method will return the array, right? We have just seen that this method, generic method, is going to return the array. Okay, server details is the array, right? String array. So that I am going to catch here string parameters, right? So what we are doing in these 3 lines? Okay, so I have created one config.properties file, and in that config.properties file I have created these 3 properties: URL property, username and password. So once we get these 3 values from this array, I am just going to set these properties for this URL, username and password, and these are the corresponding values. Okay, so for URL property, my URL value will be this 0th index at this parameters array. Okay, at the parameter first index I got the username, so that is what I am going to set for this username property, and parameter 0 second index I have the password value, okay, for that server. So that I am going to set property for this password. So let me show you config.properties file that is available in this package. Okay, so this is my config.properties file, and we are going to set this properties value in the test base once we get the value from this get URL and credential method. Okay, so once you set this value, you can use get property method to read data from this config.properties file. Okay, so there is get property method if you want to read data for this particular property from the properties file, and if you want to set the data, you need to use the set property method. Okay, so we are just simply setting these properties and values depending upon the index. So parameters 0, I will have the URL value, then username at the first index, and at second index I will have the password, right? So we have just set the properties in this config.properties, and all these 3 values I am going to reuse in my login test case, for example. Okay, so I just have to read these values. Once it is set from this method, I just have to read these 3 values from that config.properties for using get property method in my login test case. Okay, so login test case I have added in this src test java in app test folder. Okay, so this is the login page test.java. Okay, so you can see I have used this before method annotation here. So first of all, before you start executing your test case, we need to decide on which browser we need to run our test case. Okay, so for that purpose I have used this before method testng annotation. Okay, so this method will run before every test method. So whatever code available or method available in this before method annotation will going to run every time before we run this @test method. Okay, so currently we have 2 @test method in this class, so it will run 2 times. Okay, so here we are simply opening the browser. Okay, so we are sending this browser parameter from the testng XML. Okay, so this is my test name, CSV reader test, and this is the parameter I am using for this test. Okay, so this is the parameter name browser and their value is Chrome. So here you can use the Firefox. Depending upon your requirement, you can change the value from here. Okay, so this value we will send from this test.xml, and that will be reused in the main method. Okay, so in main method we are just initializing our driver object. Okay, so this is the base class which will act as a parent for other classes. Okay, so this is all about the page object model. We will learn more in detail in my framework designing series. So as of now, just understand that this is my base class. So this is my parent for all other classes. Okay, so in this parent I am just initializing my object. Okay, so in constructor we are just initializing our file objects here. Okay, so we have added this in a constructor because we need to load this config.property file before we set the property or before we get the property from that properties file. Okay, so we have loaded that property file here, and in this public WebDriver main method we are just initializing the object depending upon this browser name. Okay, so if you send the browser equal to Chrome, we will initializing the Chrome driver. If it is not Chrome, that means Firefox, then you can initialize the Firefox here. So WebDriver manager, okay, let me import it from the Selenium package. Okay, so you can add more browser depending upon your choice. So from here, for demonstration purpose, we are not going to open any browser. We are just going to print what value we got in this browser parameter. Okay, so we are just going to print this statement. Browser is whatever value we get from this test.xml. So we will send Chrome from here. That value will be given to this initialize method. Okay, so this method will send the browser value to this main method, and in the main method we are going to initialize the driver depending upon this browser name. So once we run it, this statement will be printed in the console with the browser equal to Chrome or Firefox. Okay. Okay, so once our browser is set, once our Chrome browser is set, then our test case execution will start, right? So this is the first test case, login test. So this test case is going to perform the login functionality. So for that purpose, what we required the URL, we required the username and then password. Okay, so that we can easily read from the properties file. Okay, so these are the properties. P.get property, give me the value for this URL property. Then this should return the property value for username, and then same for the password. Okay, so all these three values we have already set for this config properties from the test base class, right? So we have already set that three properties from here once we get the data from the CSV. Okay, so we just need to get these properties. Okay, so we have storing this in the string URL, string username and string password, and all these three variables we can send to our sign in method. So in sign in, what we are doing, we are just going to perform the signing. Okay, so we are going to open the URL using driver.get URL. Then you are going to find the username field by using some locating strategy, and we are going to send the whatever value we got in this username. Okay, so we are going to use the send case method here, and for password we are going to use the password value we got from this login test method. Okay, so here also we are not going to open any real-time application. We are going to just print this statement in the console that URL we got, this is the value, then username we got is username, and this is the password value. So this statement will be printed in the console. And for second test case, we are just going to verify the title of the page. So from this test.xml, we are passing these two values, the server name and our browser name. So if you run this test.xml file, the different test.ng annotation that we have used will execute in sequence. So first priority will go to the @before shoot annotation. Okay, so that we have used here. Okay, so first we are going to read the data from our CSV file. That is our first action. right? So before suit will execute first, it will get the server name from the test.ng.xml that will be passed to the set environment method here, right? So depending upon the server name, our set environment method will read data from the CSV file. It will call this method get URL credential, okay, and accordingly it will get the three values URL, username and password, and we are just going to set this property for that configure properties file. So once this before suit annotation execution is done, the next annotation that can run is at the rate before method or at the rate before test annotation. Okay, so we have used at the rate before method annotation here. Okay, so this code will execute at the second place. So here we are just getting the value for the browser from the test.ng.xml, right, in this browser parameter, and using that value we are just sending that value to the main method. Okay, and we are just opening the browser. So once we open the browser, next step is to start our execution of the test case. Okay, so this is my first test where I am going to perform the login test. Okay, so here we are just reusing whatever value we set in the properties file. So first we will get that properties using the get property, and we are going to perform the sign in. Okay, so we are going to see some statement in the console. We are not going to open any real-time application here, and similarly this second test will execute. Okay, so just before executing this test, it will again open the browser. Okay, so as we have used this at the before method, it will open the browser for each and every test available in this login test.java class. Okay, so it will open browser 2 times. Okay, so this is how our test case execution will happen depending upon the priority for the different test and annotation. So at the rate before suit will run first, then at the rate before method, and then at the end we will run this at the rate test methods. Okay, so let's run this test ng XML now. We got some exception here. Now pointer exception, we got the error as well, server name is wrong, so there is some issue in our generic method. Let me check it quickly. Okay, so here we will read the 0th index value. If it is equal to server, then it will go inside. Here we will read the next line, and yeah, so this shouldn't be here. This if condition should be at the end of this while loop. Okay, at the end. So this block shouldn't be here. It should be available at the end of while block after reading all the data from the CSV, right? And I think we are not given the size of this server details array, so that time also we may face the null pointer exception. So I know this server details array is going to have the three values, so it should have size equal to 3. So server details equal to new, it is the string type of array, and it should have the size of 3. Okay, so I think we should not get the null pointer exception now. Okay, so I think this time we didn't get the null pointer exceptions. Okay, so this is the details for our login test. So browser is Chrome, URL equal to url.uat.com, username is uat user, and password is password uat. Okay, so this data you can verify from here. Okay, it is correct. And for the second test, page title test also, we are just passing the browser equal to Chrome, and this is the URL we are passing to check the title. Okay, so that means our utility is working fine. We are successfully able to read these values, URL, username and password from this CSV file depending upon the server name that we are sending from the test.ng XML. Okay, so you can check for any other server. Let's send the prod. So for that also we got the correct details, url.prod.com, prod user, prod password, and same for the second test case. Okay, all these values are correct. So this is how you can create this generic utility method to handle this type of scenario. So we have used test.ng XML file for parameterization purpose. Okay, so we are sending our server name from here, then browser name, and we have used different test_ng annotation at the before suit where we are going to read the data from CSV, then at the before method where we are opening the browser, and at the test annotation for our Selenium test cases. Okay, so this code is very simple. We just have to create this method. We will accept the server name, and you just have to read the data using this read next method, which is available in the CSV reader class. So just create a object for this class, call that method, and we know that our server name is available at the 0th index. Okay, so we are just comparing it with the server name that we are passing from the test_ng XML, and once it is matches, we are going to read this 3 values and storing in the another array, and at the end we are just returning that array. Okay, so by chance if we send a wrong server name, we will get the error like this. Okay, so that also we can check one more time. Let's say I send like this, so this server is not available in the CSV file. So if we run, so we will see this error, server name is wrong. Okay, so due to that we got this null pointer exception. Maybe for more specific, we can add some details for this URL. Let's say URL not set. Okay, so if we send the wrong server name, instead of this blank value, we will be able to see the statements in the console. Okay, so from that we will be able to see that our something wrong in the server name. Okay, so let me rerun one more time. So you can see that we are printing these values: URL not set, username not set, and password not set. Okay, that means we have sent a wrong server name, right? So that's all for this session, guys. I hope you will understand the logic that we use to create the generic method. So if you don't understand from this logic, you can add in the comment section or send me an email on ageautomation09@gmail.com. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video soon. Thank you.